welcome to the month of December. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Can you believe it? Oh my Lord, we are on the last month of the year. Thank you to each and every one of you that made a commitment this year to say, you know what? I want to do this with Coach Ricardo. I want to join in with these morning sessions, and I want to chip away. And I made a commitment not to get weary in well doing. So thank you. Thank you for entrusting me with some of your morning time, because a lot of you guys were faithful. You have been very committed. And the concept of this early morning talk is to bring consciousness to the forefront and allows you to start thinking about things you would not have thought about because you got caught up in a rut. It's easy to just live like everybody else. It's easy to live like everybody else. There comes a time where you have to accept the fact that along the way, you could have been living wrong for a long time. You could have been living wrong for a long time. And somebody may be asking the question, how do you know you've been living wrong for a long time? How do you know? Well, you have to study. You have to pay attention. You have to assess. You have to look at yourself and literally identify what's not been going right. See, what's not been going right is an indication that you're not on the right track. In other words, for those of you that are not doing well with finances, you got to say, hey, something's not right here. Something's not right here. And so I'm a big believer. Write this down. I have to come clean with myself. I have to be very honest with myself. Now, here's what I know. A lot of people live in denial. A lot of people live in denial. And as long as you're in denial, nobody's going to be able to help you. You heard me correct. As long as you're in denial, nobody's going to help you. And then, in addition, as long as you keep telling yourself what you've been telling yourself, you're going to keep doing what you've been doing. As long as you keep telling yourself what you've been telling yourself, you're going to keep doing what you've been doing. You've got to get to the point where you realize, if I'm going to get something different, then I need to really assess. I really need to look at what is not working for me. It's impossible to live life effectively and not examine your life frequently. Let me say that again. Somebody may need to write that down. It's impossible to live life effectively without examining your life frequently. There's always room for improvement. As long as there's life in your body, you can make up in your mind that every day you're going to get up and you're going to find a little way to improve. Sometimes it's just declutterizing, just having a garage sale and getting rid of some of the junk you should have gotten rid of for a long time, but you've been keeping it, and you sentimental value, that's what you call it. But if you were to die today, let me tell you something, it'll end up in a box, on a pile, on a corner. People would throw that stuff out. You wouldn't even realize how fast that stuff was just put on some pile somewhere where most people just didn't see any value in it, and then you can't even get past it. You can't get past it. Or you have talent, you have time, and you have resources, but you're living paycheck to paycheck, and you haven't realized that you shouldn't be living this way. You're going to need some money. You're going to need to figure out, how do I make life work for me financially? And that's the reason why we're hosting, in 8 days, on December 9th, we'll be having workshop. It's going to be an annual workshop, and I wanted to do it at the end of the year so people could make some adjustment before they go into the holiday, but also prepare themselves for the new year, setting yourself up to win. Listen, when January 1 comes, that's not the time to set yourself up for the new year. You have to set yourself up for the new year this month. The month of December is your defining month to set the stage for your new month. How many of y'all agree with that? Come on, put it in the comment section. How many of you agree that you set the stage for your new month the month before? So be it that this is now December 1, you got to get it and say with conviction and passion, I'm going to do the work. I'm going to do the work to ensure that 2024 becomes one of my best years ever. Okay? I'm going to do the work. A lot of you have been following me for a while, and you know I just had my tonsil and adenoid surgery. That was a part of the goal. That was one of the major ones for this year. And before I finished this year, I was able to check off some things. And I'm here today to tell you, if 2024 is going to be an incredible year for you, you're going to have to examine your life as to what did not work for you in 2023. What do you need to change? What roadblocks you dealt with that needs to be adjusted and taken out of the picture to ensure that that's not the same roadblock you're dealing with in 2024. You're in the right community. For those of you that are effective living ambassadors, you got to tell yourself, hey, listen, man, I want it all. I want it all. How many of you can say that this morning on this December 1st day of the month? Listen, how many of you can say, I want it all? Faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. Well, this week I've been teaching on self-awareness. I've been teaching on self-awareness, and there are a lot of people who are settling. They're not aware. They're not aware of themselves. They haven't taken the time to study themselves. And now what's happening is the longer you take to acknowledge who you really are, the harder it's going to be in becoming who you should be. So the longer it takes for you to accept the truth, the more difficult it's going to be to incorporate the truth into your life. So you get this revelation, and as soon as you get the revelation, you got to start making ways in your agenda, in your daily planning to incorporate what you know is truth. The truth will only set you free when you decide that every day you're going to figure out, how do I get better? How do I get better? And when you discover ways to get better, you're going to have to fight to make that a reality for you. Life is not going to change for the person who keeps doing the same thing. Let me say that again. Life is not going to change for the person who's doing the same thing. Now, if your life is amazing, keep doing the same thing and it'll keep you on that same run for a while. But even in that instance, you got to still have some changes. You got to be willing to adjust how you've done things this year, how you did things in November and in October and in September. You got to now make some adjustments because you can't do it in December and set yourself up for January and make 2024 an incredible year. You gotta make adjustments. Be willing to make adjustments. Be willing to make adjustments. How many of you can say with confidence you are learning to make adjustments? How many of you can say that? Coach, I'm learning to make adjustments. I'm learning to make adjustments. I'm here today to tell you it's very important. It's very important that you make adjustments. Now, here's what I need you to do. As I close this week's teaching series out where we were dealing with developing self-awareness, I want you to understand that. Write this down. Self-awareness demands unlearning. That's what I want to close out today. Self-awareness demands unlearning. There is a lot of unlearning. Now, here's what I found to be true. It's harder to unlearn than to learn. It's harder to learn than to it's harder to unlearn than to learn. And the longer you take to unlearn, the more difficult it is to break the habits that you have enforced or reinforced over time as a way of doing things. So if you know, you could practice for a long time. You say, well, I've been practicing, coach, I've been practicing. But if you've been practicing wrong, you're reinforcing a behavior that is going to hurt you in the long run. And then they said, well, well, that's just the way I do it. Well, is it working for you? Is it working for you? How is it working for you? Now, if you haven't taken the time to realize you have been very committed to doing life a certain kind of way, but doing life a certain kind of way haven't been working for you, then you need to lean into what Coach Ricardo Miller is telling you, and that is you need to learn how to examine yourself. Some of you guys need to really join my group coaching and get closer to this program. And direct message me and say, hey man, I'm interested in the coaching program. If you haven't gotten the book, but yet you're interested in my message, you're missing out. Order the book this weekend. Order the book, because I'm telling you, practical truth for everyday living will get you to where you're trying to go. And that's what the book is loaded with. Practical truth for everyday living. So you just got to remind yourself, I'm on a mission to becoming the best version of myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to engage in discovering practical truth. And when I discover the truth, I'm going to work those truths into my life. I'm going to work those truths into my life. I'm discovering the truth about money. I'm discovering the truth about people. I'm discovering the truth about time. I'm discovering the truth about my talent. I'm discovering the truth about anger. I'm discovering the truth about depression. I'm discovering the truth about resources. I'm discovering the truth about my city. I'm discovering the truth about faith. I'm discovering the truth, listen, man, about networking. I'm discovering the truth. And I'm discovering the truth about how to be present and how to have fun. I am living life in a really good place when it comes to leaning in on becoming better. Somebody said, I'm figuring it out now. And as long as I'm given life, I'm going to commit to unlearning. I'm going to commit as long as I've been given life. Every time I've been given, right now you've been given a new month. So now what you got to do is you got to decide, I'm not going to keep doing in December what I've always done, because doing that has gotten me what I've gotten and it's not helped me. For those of you who go ahead and get a loan during the holiday season, you got to say, hold on, man, why do I need to get a loan only to find myself financially challenged in the year to come? Because I put myself in this position of looking good, so-called looking good for Christmas, only to find myself financially bound and held back during the year because of behavior, because of a habit that I incorporated. I'm here today to tell you, you got to decide that you're going to look at what did you do to get here? What have you done to get where you are? And how much of where you are you want to remain? And what you don't want to remain, you have to now make a commitment to unlearning the behaviors that brought you here. Well, Miller, I just sleep late. I'm just not a morning person. Well, you've developed a habit to embrace your bed longer than others, and that's a behavior that can change. So now you have to unlearn what you have learned or lean into that's causing you to live that way. I don't have to live this way, whatever way that is for you. You got to now tell yourself, I don't have to live this way. And write that down and own it and identify what is it that you now have to accept that you don't have to live like. I don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. I don't have to live alone. I don't have to live, come on, man. I don't have to live being the tail. I don't have to live having to deal with crises and issues. I don't have to live one issue away from a crisis. There are some people you're not looking at how you're living, but yet you want a great life. I'm here today to tell you it's December 1. Dave Ramsey said it this way. If you live like no one else, you'll be able to live like no one else. That's what I'm doing in this season. I'm learning how to become the man that I should be moving into 50. I'm calling it Road to 50. I got that from the Bahamas when the Bahamas celebrated its 50th year anniversary, independence this year. The Road to 50, I love that term. And I'm going to be using that in 2024 as I go into 2025, which I'll be turning 50 in 2025. And the Road to 50 The road to 50 is going to demand that I unlearn a lot of things. The road to 50, I have to do a lot of unlearning. I have to do a lot of, how many of you could say that this morning? You have to do a lot of unlearning. Now, let me tell you what I found interesting. Meeting people who are locked in on what they believe. Meeting people who are locked into what they believe, only to find themselves so locked in that what happens is it becomes a stronghold. It becomes the thing that actually causes them to lose in the long run. If you want to win and you want to get better with age, be willing to unlearn what you have leaned into as truth, what you have leaned into as principles, what you have leaned into as behaviors that have brought you up to this point, and start to realize a lot of what I have done up to this point needs to change. The way I've been doing things haven't been working for me. Well, you don't understand. That's how I've been for a long time. I am so glad you came clean and said that. Because here's what I want you to know. You can change. You can change. You don't have to stay that way. You can change. And you should change. You should change. Not only can you change, but you should change. And I'm changing. This month is going to show. I'm going to go and hang out and be with family and friends. I'm going to hang out at some socials this month, but I'm going to change. And maybe I may not even go out and hang out. I may be in and reflecting. I may set myself aside and start looking within. And I'm going to look at faith. I'm going to look at family. I'm going to look at finance. I'm going to look at fitness, health and fitness. I'm going to look at fun, and I'm going to design the life that I want. I'm designing the life I want. That's why, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, Miller, I'm coming on the cruise. I'm joining you on the cruise because I haven't been enjoying life. And the person says, you know what? I'm a professional. I make good money. I live in a nice home. I drive a nice car, but life isn't fun for me. And he says, I watch you and Karen, and I watch how you guys celebrate life. Well, we're celebrating life again today. Karen and I are celebrating life because today is our anniversary, y'all. Yeah, today is our anniversary. And man, she is the love of my life. She is the woman that keeps a smile on my face. God's blessed me well. And I'm so happy to call her my wife and my friend and my girlfriend and my sweetheart. She's everything. God's blessed me well, and we're going to live it up. We're going to enjoy life to the fullest. It's not a show. It's a lifestyle. We said we're not on honeymoon. We're in a lifestyle. We don't look for holidays. We look for lifestyle. It's just going to be everyday living for the Millers. And so today is our anniversary. So happy anniversary, babe. You know what? We're going to do it big this weekend in Vegas. And we're going to show down and show out. And we're going to enjoy everyday living together for the rest of our lives. So I want to celebrate 50 years anniversary with you, and we're on year 2. Okay, Karen? But you watch it, listen, we're on year 2. So I want to celebrate 50 years with you, girl. You're amazing. And I'm enjoying doing life with you. And so listen, guys, I'm having to unlearn what I should never have learned. As a guy, I'm married. I love my wife. She's amazing. But as a man, I've discovered, I told them on a radio show in the Bahamas, I said, 85% of what I learned on Soldier Road as a guy in dealing with women were wrong. Jamal, did you hear me? Vito, did you hear me? The vast majority of what I learned on the streets was wrong when it came to dealing with women. When it came to being a husband, when it came to being a father, it was wrong. It's just that street stuff, that stuff wasn't applicable when it came to marriage. It wasn't applicable when it came to being a father. It wasn't applicable to when it came to being a responsible husband. Okay? So today I want you to know self-awareness demands that you learn how to tap into your emotional side. You learn how to tap into psychologically looking in and being able to say, you know what, I'm not doing well in this area. I'm doing extremely well in this area. Or, you know what, when I look at all five, what Coach Miller teaches, faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun, I'm not doing well hardly in any of them. On a scale to 1 to 10, all of them I'm a low 5, meaning 5 is low, 4, 3, 2, 1, all is low. If you're below 5 in any of those areas, you got some work to do. You need one-on-one coaching. I'm a life management coach, and I haven't really done my marketing real strong and helping people understand what I mean when I say I'm a life management coach. I want to help people to sit down and look at their whole entire life when it comes to faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. And I want to help them to organize themselves to win in all five. Win in all five. And if you read my book, you've gone to any of my workshops and you said, Miller, I want to do this. This is a great time for you to join in on being either in my group coaching, purchase the book, or get the one-on-one for the new year. And say, I'm going to do 6 months of Miller one-on-one coaching, and I'm going to have this brother push me to the next level, because that's really what I'm going to do. But you can't be lazy, okay? And you can't be so reserved and so trying to barely do anything and get the most out of life. No. You got to be driven. You got to be very determined. You got to want to win. And to unlearn what you should have never learned, let me tell you something, it's going to take some work. And that's the reason why you get a coach. That's the reason why you get a trainer. That's the reason why you get a mentor. That's the reason why you allow somebody to push you where you couldn't push yourself. Because the truth is, someone is truly assigned to help you. But what I want you to do as you go into this day and this weekend, me and Karen are about to turn it up, okay? It's our anniversary. We're about to turn it up. But what I want you to do, I want you to go ahead and spend some time to examine where you are. We're going to take some time and examine where we are too for our anniversary. We're going, ooh, come on. It's our anniversary, Karen. Anniversary. So here's the deal. Examine where you are. If you don't like where you are, make some adjustments. If you don't know how to make the adjustments necessary for winning in the area where you found that you're not doing so well, get some help. If you don't think I can help you, then get somebody to help you. But at the end of the day, don't allow yourself to live below your potential. You got so much in you. I like what Les Brown says. He says, you've got greatness within you. But you'll never tap into that greatness if you don't become honest with accepting the fact that you got some work to do. And sometimes you just need someone to help you, an accountability person. Go into this month looking at who's going to be the person to help navigate me from where I am to where I'm trying to go. Don't become familiar with the instructor. Allow the person who's assigned to help you to help you. God bless you guys. Have a great day. Once again, it's my anniversary. I'm going to go ahead and hang out with my wife today. We're going to have a blast. Woohoo! Vegas, here we come. God bless you guys. Bye-bye.